Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and today's video is going to be a bit of a how I'm really doing physically and mentally. Let's get started. Okay, so I think I'm gonna start with mentally because that's like I want to backtrack and then get up, and I feel like mentally was further away. So if you get what I mean. So here we go. Also, I took off the front section of my pillows because I wanted these to be in the video. These are never shown and they're pretty, and I want it to be further away from the camera. I don't know. Okay. So, backtracking. I'm gonna like tell the full story, not of my entire life because that would be a lot, but we'll go back to, let's go back to summer of 2020. So summer of 2020 was kind of a high point because weather was amazing. I was happy. We were going to the beach. We were going on a few little vacations, just somewhat close by, not super close, but not like we weren't taking planes, you know? They were all drivable distance. I was like in a good place with my friends for most of the summer, and I could see my family because COVID was lower, and like it was a good high point for me. September, school started, decent weather. It was fine still, like it was still on the warmer side, especially like as it got into October, I honestly don't remember a ton about October. I don't know why. I feel like October went by wicked fast, but I was fine. Same, I mean, the weather was changing, it was getting cooler, but it was still like the beginning stages of that where it was like 50s, 60s. Sometimes it would get really cold, and then it would go back up to like 50s. So it was like the beginning of fall, and then November. So beginning of November was fine. Don't remember a ton about November just because it was a long time ago and a lot has happened since then. But I think I was still doing pretty good because I was keeping in mind that we were taking a beach vacation for a week at the end of November. That, like, it was me focusing on that was really helpful. I think if I didn't have that focus, I would be telling a different story right now. So end of November, we went and visited my grandparents, saw my aunt and uncle. That was so good for me too, like seeing family. That was amazing. It being warm there was also amazing, and being at the beach and swimming, and yeah, it was awesome. Love that vacation. It will forever be in my heart and forever be on YouTube. You can go check out those videos on my channel. So December, I think the reason December was an okay month for me mentally was my focus of end of the month is Christmas. And then beginning of January is the new year. New year, new me. I totally at the time believed that statement, you know? And we'll get into that. So December was an okay month. I was starting to feel a bit sad, like, oh my God, the weather is freezing. I hate this. Like, I hate where I live, which is still true. So that was kind of my December, and then Christmas came, and I mean, I was definitely very sad that we couldn't have my usual normalcy of Christmas with everyone in my family getting together, seeing my grandparents on my mom's side. That was hard for me. I definitely had some nights crying about that, but I think replacing it with something that I've never done before, which is have Christmas with my aunt, made it better than if it was just the four of us here for Christmas, you know? So then it was the new year, which was awesome. We went over to a friend's house who was in our little bubble of COVID, our COVID bubble, because we work with them and it's inevitable, you know, we gotta be in a bubble with them, you know? So we did that for New Year's, and it was the end of 2020. Finally, we had gotten to the end of 2020, and it was gonna be 2021, and I was like, new year, new me. I'm gonna be the best version of myself this year and be happy and all that. After the new year, got back into the pace of school, middle of January was when it began. By it, I mean my almost like a switch of a reaction to seasonal depression. If you don't know anything about seasonal depression, it's so fun. No. So for me, what seasonal depression looks like is angry. And you don't know why until you come out of it and realize it was all because of the weather, and you see a dramatic change in yourself, and others do too. My parents could notice it. I was angry all the time for months. Like, I would be mad at like the smallest thing because of just how like depressed I was about the weather, the climate, just the fact that like we couldn't go swimming or go to the beach. Like, that is so hard for me, and to some people it might sound ridiculous, but that's how it is for me, and there isn't a lot I can do to control that. That is all an internal thing that is not under my control. I can't control how like my seasonal depression. And for me, seasonal depression isn't, I don't know how to describe it. Like, when I say like I was depressed during that time, it's hard for me to say, not because it's hard for me to talk about, but because I don't want people going into the comments and being like, well, I was in your life at the time and you didn't seem depressed, because depression doesn't look like the same thing for every single person. And for some people, depression is very like obvious to people, but for some people it's very internal, and you don't even know until you go back and look at it, or it's a very personal thing and you hide it from everyone. And that was kind of, for me, it was kind of a mix of that, even though there were certainly things that was very obvious to people that I was not okay, you know? And it wasn't to everyone. I definitely put on a show for those, I at the time had put on a show a lot of the time for YouTube even, or for other people. Just like, I wouldn't be myself around people, because being myself meant being sad all the time and being angry. And it got really bad. I'm not gonna say it didn't. It got really, really bad, and I was really sad a lot of the time, and really just like I didn't want to talk to people a lot. And even when I did, I put on a show. So if Marissa, I'll just use her for an example, because we FaceTime a lot. If I came in and was saying this, and she knows about it now, she when I told her, she was very surprised because I put on such a show at the time. She believes me. It's not like I'm lying about this, guys, you know? And like, there were definitely signs of it when she would see me in person, of just, oh, okay, yeah, I can see she's not okay, you know? And I think if I didn't have my friends and family for support, it would have been even worse. I would have been even more sad and just like curl up into a little ball, you know? And I don't know how to like put it into words exactly, just like how you feel, but if you know, you know, you know? So yeah, it's, I don't know. I don't know how to put it into words, and I don't know how to describe it the right way, but timeline wise, I would say mid-January to probably end of March. I was really like, that was my seasonal depression period. It fluctuated from wicked bad to okay to barely there, you know? That's for me. I'm not gonna discuss right now, like I will discuss that in a minute, but my wicked bad period was probably mid-January to end of February, and then March was like an okay time because it was getting better outside. It was, you know? And then we'll get into anxiety in a minute, because that was something always had anxiety. We'll get into it. But then April. So April was a pretty good month because it was warmer. It was getting warmer, and we got to paddleboard in April, which like warmed my heart. And then it got cold again. And the day it got cold, it all came running back, and oh my God, I didn't know I was gonna say this, but oh my God. So we were driving in the city, and we had gotten out of the car to pick up pizza for lunch and at our favorite pizza place, and it was freezing out, and we were getting back to the car with the pizza, and I got in the car, and I just, like, I looked at the seat in front of me because I was in the back because my parents were in the front, and then I was in the back with my brother and my grandmother. Looked at the seat in front of me, and I just started bawling. Like, I couldn't, and I said a bunch of things that I don't even remember. Some of them I do remember, but like it was really, I don't know. It's really, that's something that's really hard for me to share, and that has never happened to me where it's really hard for me to share. It's just, that was a really low point for me, and I said some things, and I don't want to repeat them, and I don't want to, I don't know. It's hard. It's really hard, and it's really hard when not a lot of people understand what you're going through, because my grandmother lives in this beautiful place, and so it's hard for her to relate, and it's hard for my parents to relate because they're not in the same situation as me, and it's hard for especially my dad to understand that I don't have control over that. I don't have control over my mental health. You can't just stop, you know. And when I had said something, he was like, he got nervous, you know. You could tell in his voice that, I remember that he got really nervous, and my brother had laughed, and I flipped out on him because I was just like, Max, you have to stop laughing. This is not a laughing matter. Like, that's not what I said to him, but you know, like, that's how I'm rephrasing it. But like, it wasn't a laughing matter, because even though, yes, like, I'm hysterically crying, really deep down what I'm feeling is not funny, you know, and it's not something to take lightly. And my dad was scared, and so he just kind of said, like, you can control it, see how you just stopped crying. But yes, but I didn't tell myself stop crying and then I stopped. It just tapered off, and then I just kind of sat there. I ate a piece of pizza, but I don't even remember doing that, you know? Like, I don't really remember what I did in that moment, you know? Like, it was kind of like I'm like in my head just thinking so deeply about what just happened and what's to come and how I feel now, that like whatever I was doing was like, I don't know what I was doing, you know? I don't know how to explain this. Like, it was really like scary, but that definitely had to do with my seasonal depression along with anxiety. I think those kind of coincide for me a lot because I get really anxious about it. So, all right, we're gonna move on from that story. But then May has been pretty good so far. It's not been like crazy warm like some other years, but it's been getting better, and like I can see that there's an end to this cold winter we've had. Yeah, and I'm definitely like like right now where I'm at with the seasonal depression is, I don't think I have seasonal, like with seasonal depression, it's seasonal. So when I say I don't think I have seasonal depression right now, that's because it's seasonal. It comes and it goes. And for me, it's usually in those months of January to March. It kind of depends, but that's usually where it will be for me consistently. Sometimes it'll come up in other places like it did this time. But right now, I'm definitely a happier person, and I'm definitely like getting back into the swing of things and feeling more motivated to do things. And I'm definitely like I don't know, I think I'm feeling better now, but it's still on my mind, you know, and I still get really sad when it's a bad day out. Like I get really, really sad and like snippy, and anytime it's a nice day, like my mom will really try to like make sure I get outside and like sit in the sun, because even when it's still chilly out, I'll try to just sit there in the sun and just soak it in, because I really like, my body just needs it, you know, and my mind needs it, and I can't wait for this summer and how different I will feel. I feel like I'll just feel like a whole new person, you know, for so many reasons, you know. But getting into my idea of 2021 New Year, New Me is, yeah, I believe it. New Year, New Me, but is it always a good New Year, New Me? No. I think because of my seasonal depression and how it was the worst this year, and it'll probably be worse next year. That's kind of how it works. It just gets worse with time, at least for me. In some cases it doesn't. In some cases it stays pretty stagnant. But for me, it gets worse with time. And the more I stay in this one place. So eventually, when I move to my dream place, which is California, Southern California, we'll see. I mean, I'm 99% sure it'll be a completely different view for me in those months, because it'll be completely different weather, you know, climate, area, things, all the things. But where was I? Oh my god, where was I going with that? Yeah, so all right, so moving on to anxiety. We will talk about anxiety. There isn't really a timeline for this, but I will just mention, I've always had anxiety, whether it's about stupid little things to huge things. I've always been an anxious, worried person. I ask a million questions and ask them a million times until I get an answer, you know? Like I'm always worried about the schedule, the planning, and when things are happening, because without that, my mind races, my heart races, I start to panic, and I get panic attacks and hyperventilate and anxiety attacks, all the things. It's lovely. But again, this is definitely, my mental health gets worse with age for me. As I've gotten older, my anxiety gets worse and worse and worse and worse. And this was the week before spring break. So in April, I was like 2 minutes late to my history class. And then I was like, it's fine. That's what I was saying out loud to myself. But I had this like heavy feeling on my chest, like not like my heart, but just like my whole chest felt really heavy and tense. And then my brain started like spinning, and my eyes started hurting, and I started feeling like I was gonna pass out and throw up. Like I felt like I was gonna throw up, but also pass out. And I was so like confused, and I had just eaten a piece, not eaten, but like chewed a piece of gum, and I was convinced, this is what my mind was convincing me, that this gum made me sick and I wouldn't be able to see my friends or family for 1 month. I don't know why that's what my mind was convincing me of. That's just what I was convinced of. And the feeling, I cannot subscribe. Subscribe. I cannot describe the feeling to you guys. Like it literally, like my brain was spinning. I felt like I was gonna pass out. I felt like I was gonna throw up. I felt so tense, so anxious. So I stood up and turned off my camera, ran downstairs, but what I thought was running, but I don't think it actually was. I was like, Mom, I can't breathe, and my head is spinning. I feel like I'm gonna pass out, and I feel like I'm gonna throw up. Like I don't know what I'm feeling right now. So she took me outside. I was standing just like this, like not even standing. She sat down and was like, okay, sit down, because I was like, I feel like I'm gonna pass out. If you don't know, my mom is a nurse. She knows her way around this stuff. she sat down, we were talking, and I started to calm down a little. I was breathing, and then everything went away. And this was probably a 10 to 15 minute period of me feeling like that, from the start of it coming on I would say 20 minutes from the start of it coming on to feeling fine, like nothing had ever happened. So it's so weird because you feel like you have the flu almost, but like you have the flu mixed with a cold mixed with like, what is going on? I'm so confused right now. But like you're so out of it too. Like I can barely remember that conversation. I can barely remember like what I did, you know? Like this is just kind of like what I've pieced together in my mind. And she, after I had like calmed down and like she realized like, okay, she's out of it now. Like I'm back to it actually. She kind of just was like, yeah, that was definitely an anxiety attack, panic attack. Like that was the worst it's ever been. I didn't hyperventilate because it wasn't that sort of a situation, but we don't really know why. The only thing I can really think of is like adrenaline too. Like my adrenaline was going wicked fast because I like stood up really fast and ran to the door, shut the door, came back, sat down, turned off the camera, ran back, opened the door. That was something weird I did too. Like that was weird. And then I was like super worried that he was gonna make me turn my camera back on, and then I was gonna be like, my mom's gonna email you while I was gone. Like he didn't say anything though. I guess he just didn't notice that I had my camera off. But yeah, it was the worst it's ever been, like ever. And that's kind of saying a lot because it's been really bad. Like I've definitely, like, now that I think about it, whenever I would go sleep over places, like I really made bad anxiety about sleeping over places. Like I would always feel like I was gonna throw up because of my anxiety. And now I know that. I always thought I was sick. Like I always had this thought like I'm sick. But that's what my brain tells me when I feel like that, is like I'm sick because of one thing and I'll be this way for a while, you know? But it's really just, I'm so anxious that like it makes me feel sick. But then as soon as the nerves go away, I'm fine. Nothing's wrong with me. And I will say, like, now looking at it, I'm like very nervous of it happening again because it wasn't fun. And it's kind of scary. Like you don't know what's going on and you feel like you're like gonna pass out, and like you don't know what could happen if you're gonna pass out. And say someone's not home the next time it happens, like who am I gonna talk to? You're supposed to like get fresh air, talk to people. Like I don't know. Like I don't know. But yeah, that's kind of update on anxiety. Now, something I want to also talk about is kind of like stress. I think lately I've been really, really stressed out because my shoulders lately have been so tense. And like my grandmother was telling me this when she was here, and my mom keeps telling me this. Like, I think it's just everything that's going on in my life right now is wicked stressful because, okay, I usually don't talk about this, but I'm actually like stressed about my money, which is like odd because like I don't pay rent, I don't buy my own food, like I don't know. But I just spent like a lot of money a few weeks ago on going shopping with my friend, and I hadn't made that money back like as soon as I thought I would, and that was really stressing me out. And yeah, money stresses me out a bit. It does, for sure. Yeah. And then school has been really stressful, not because I've been getting a lot of work, just because like I'm so done with it. Like I'm ready for the summer in so many ways. But yeah. And then YouTube has actually been really stressful lately, just because like I feel like I'm taking on a lot with posting 5 times a week. But I think that's just because like I've been really busy lately, and it's been really hard for me to post 5 times a week. Like I miss Friday because I'm just so busy. Like I can't pinpoint why I'm so busy. Like I don't know what's making me so busy. Like I think just like being more like, I'll get into this physical stuff, but the physical like body is like I've been tracking what I eat, because whenever I did that like a few months ago, I was like at one of my healthiest points and getting like a ton of physical activity every day. That is taking up a lot of time, which is great. I love that, but it makes me have less time for YouTube, which makes me stressed because I have this commitment and I love this commitment and I love doing YouTube and posting on Instagram, but it is a lot. It takes a lot of time. Like, I'm not gonna say it doesn't, because it does, and it's really stressful because you have to be so careful with what you say, so careful with what you show, so careful with what you put online, because it's always going to be there no matter what. Even if you delete it, it'll always be there. You have to be so careful. And what's scary is like something I could say right now could be offensive in 10 years. You don't know. Like, you have no idea. You know, it's really stressful. That's like something that's always been stressful, but I think it gets worse with time as more things become offensive to people, you know, anybody, you know. But yeah, so that's kind of anxiety, stress, seasonal depression. OCD has always been terrible, and it gets worse with age as well, but there's nothing like really to update you on other than it's getting worse. It's getting way worse. I can't take it. My room is like so messy and there's like 2 books on the floor. It's bugging me. But physical appearance is, I think, this is so hard because I think it changes every day, but not like physically, but I think my mindset on it changes every day. But lately I've been very proud of myself because I've been working out a ton and eating really well and eating just less, drinking way more water, and I've been really proud of myself. I don't think I necessarily see it yet, but well, I do, but it's also hard because it's like, even though it's only been like a week, like I think to the day, or one more day and it'll have been a week, so I definitely see physical change, but it's like, because it's like, it's not like overnight, it's over a week, it's kind of like, oh yeah, like thinking back to a week ago, yeah, there's definitely like something I can see different about my body. I don't really weigh myself all that often, not because it like causes problems with my mental health or anything, but just because I just don't. I don't know why. I don't really see the point, you know? I mean, I see the point of like keeping healthy, but I'll weigh myself like sometimes when I think of it, you know? And I don't even know what I weigh right now. Like, I have no idea. But like, just like looking at myself, I'm pretty happy, you know? Like, I'm ready. Like, if I had to wear a bikini tomorrow, I would, you know? Like, that would be true of any time because I don't care if other people think it's gross. I love myself and I always will. And I don't care. Like, I don't care if you think it's gross for me to wear a bikini, but like, I would feel extremely confident in a bikini tomorrow, you know? And that is like I'm so proud of myself for that, you know? Like, I'm so proud of myself for getting to that point because I think there was definitely a time where I probably wouldn't have been. Even though, I mean, I would have, but not like as much as I am now. Like, I don't know how to describe that, but I think I would have put on a t-shirt to take a picture, you know? So I feel like that's kind of all I have to update you guys on like a mental health and physical update. I don't have a ton to share on the physical health because I think I want to kind of do that on the Motivation channel, just because like I want to go like really in depth with it and I don't want to make this video that long. So this summer I'm definitely going to pick up back on the Motivation channel. I think this summers is really when I'll take off on, or not take off, but is when I'll really like focus on that channel a lot more. During the school year, it's a lot to run 2 channels, let alone 3 during the school year. But this summer, definitely plan on some awesome videos going out on that channel, this channel, vlog channel. There are going to be some awesome videos. And if you're not subscribed to my vlog channel, go subscribe in the description below because there are definitely some awesome spoiler videos that you even get to see and some awesome just videos. Like, I'm really proud of my main channel and my vlog channel and Motivation. I wouldn't say I'm the most proud of that channel, But I like that channel. I'm excited. We have so many video ideas for that channel this summer, but I think some of them I will move to this channel because there are way more than I would ever need in 3 months. So anyways, I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!